Before we start, a disclaimer. I am not certified to offer any sort of career advice, and whatever I talk about in this video is for informational purposes only. In the previous episode, we talked about how all the video game careers can be categorized into two buckets, selling games and playing games. In this video, we will talk about the second category, which is playing games. You could make money by selling games since the 1970s, but making money by playing video games is a concept that is relatively new. Stories of people earning huge amounts of money by playing video games have now become common, and it is a genuine career choice, although it is still a lot riskier than more traditional careers. The first career path that we need to discuss is electronic sports or esports. Competition in video games is as old as one of the first hit video games, Pong, a two-player game whose objective was to score more points than your opponent. Today's competitive video games are a bit more sophisticated than moving a paddle up and down, and they also pay you money if you're good at it. There's a reason esports has the word sports in it. It shares a lot of qualities with traditional sports. The sooner you start training, the more time you have to get better at your chosen sport. The place where you start training has a huge role to play in your career because it influences the kind of facilities you have for training. In case of esports, you need constant access to a good computer with a stable internet connection and also the required infrastructure to support esports tournaments. In this career path, you will need to invest a lot of time and also money. Traveling to tournaments is not cheap, and it can be difficult to survive if you don't find yourself a sponsor. And of course, the top players in any sport that you pick will always be the ones who earn the most amount of money, but everyone else is most likely doing a more traditional job to support themselves because unless you're winning tournaments, you won't make a lot of money. But the most important thing about esports is that, just like regular sports, the risks and rewards are both extremely high. So this is a career option that has to be taken very seriously. Being good at playing games is only a small part of succeeding in esports, so you will need to put in a lot of preparation before picking this up as a career choice. Another popular option for making money through playing games these days is content creation. Now, there are different definitions of what content actually means, but in the context of video games, I am referring to video content that is broadcast to a worldwide audience using platforms like YouTube and Twitch. Your content can be anything related to video games, and it can be delivered in various ways. For example, you could focus on being entertaining by commenting on various games that you play, or you can choose for your content to be informational, which is a riskier approach because growth in this area can be slow. The stories of people earning millions of dollars through content creation mostly comes from the entertainment side of things. The video streaming platform Twitch has revolutionized the way the world consumes video game content. The people who broadcast their content on Twitch, called streamers, often become popular by creating a distinct personality on the platform that attracts an audience. This is done in one of two ways. Either the streamer is really good at a certain game and the audience wants to see high quality gameplay, or the streamer is quite entertaining and the audience watches them to have a good time. In both cases, the streamers are compensated for their time through monthly subscription fees and tips given by the audience, as well as sponsorships from various companies. On YouTube, things are slightly different. Live streaming is still a big component, but there is much more flexibility in the type of content that a channel owner can create. Even better, videos on YouTube can continue to be monetized even when you are not live. So that's an added incentive to focus on creating content on YouTube. Monetization options include ad revenue, channel memberships, and sponsorships. Either way, becoming a successful content creator is a long journey, and since the market is quite saturated, it can be quite tough for a newcomer to make an impact. But if you're patient enough to stick to it for a few years and maintain a consistent quality, good things can happen in unexpected ways. Finally, there's education. This is an odd inclusion in this list, especially because it was also included in the previous category of selling games. But the concept is quite simple. If you are good at something, chances are someone is willing to pay you to teach it to them. And if you're really good at playing a certain game, but maybe you don't have the time or resources to pursue a career in esports, you can still make money by offering coaching to people who want to get better at that game. That wraps up this tiny introduction about making money by playing games. After going through both categories, my personal opinion is that it doesn't matter which career path you choose as long as you're having a good time. But if, for practical reasons, you need to first focus on making money, then I would strongly suggest exploring an option in selling games rather than playing them. If you're more concerned about improving your skills at a certain game, then taking up esports as a side project is bound to keep your competitive spirit happy. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.